Hey guys, what's up? 2-Bit Jesus here, and welcome to the second week of the trilogy of Toy Story video games. Now last week, of course, we took a look at Toy Story 1 on the Sega Genesis and looked a little bit at the Super Nintendo version, but this week we're taking a step out of the 16-bit era of video games and into the early 3D era of video games on the PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64. So without further ado, folks, let's review Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue.
Stealing Woody! What? He can't take Woody! It's illegal!
Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue is an action platform game based on the movie Toy Story 2. Published by Activision and developed by Traveller's Tales, it was released in 1999 and 2000 for the N64, PlayStation, Dreamcast, and PC. Today we are looking at the PS1 version, but I also have the N64 version. The main differences I can tell is the 64 has slightly sharper graphics but is missing the FMV movie scenes that the other versions have, and from what I've played, the PS1 version runs a lot smoother. An article from People dated November 26, 1998 shows an enemy in the game sporting a mustache, bullet bandolier, and a sombrero. Activision and Disney decided to change the character after a peaceful demonstration outside the Santa Monica headquarters of Activision. The activists protested the character for being a Mexican stereotype. To be clear, this character does not appear in the movie and was an invention of Activision's for the game. This isn't the only time this company has been in hot water, but that can be a video altogether by itself. Well, that's it for the tidbits, so let's ride like the wind into this review.
Stealing Woody! What? He can't take Woody! It's illegal!
Toy Story 2 is the reverse of Toy Story. You play Buzz Lightyear and have to save Woody. You platform battle and collect across 15 levels in the quest to save Woody. Buzz has his trusty laser, which has a charge to deal out more damage. You can also go into a first-person view for a more precise shot, and can pick up a power-up that has limited ammo but deals out more damage. There is also a spin attack that Buzz does with his wings. The wings also give Buzz a double jump ability. The controls are solid for the most part. The first person view is a little stiff, but is passable. You also have basic video game items like extra lives and health in the form of batteries. Your main goal in each level is to collect Pizza Planet tokens. Every level has 5 tokens. You collect them by completing different tasks for characters like Ham, Mr. Potato Head, and Slinky, completing challenges, races, solving puzzles, and defeating sub-bosses of the levels. You will be backtracking a bit to levels as certain tokens require special power-ups that can only be unlocked by progressing further into the main game. You have the barrier that protects Buzz from damage, rocket boots that help you speed through areas, the disc launcher that heat sinks to enemies, the grappling hook to help you get to higher areas, and the hover boots that help you fly up to inaccessible areas. Now you only need 1 token to beat a level, but as you progress through the game, levels require a higher number of tokens to unlock them. So collect all you can while you're there to keep backtracking to a minimum. The enemy AI is pretty dumb and do not provide much of a challenge. The only challenge to be had in the game really is from the sub-boss fights and the boss fights. Enemies are toy-based and keep mostly to the theme of the level you are on. The level design is adequate, not too short, not too long. Every level is based on a location from the movie, meaning every level fits well within the Toy Story world. So with a collectathon that is not too overwhelming, adequate level design with subpar enemies, and decent controls, gameplay gets 2 bits.
To infinity and beyond!
Out of 4.
Stealing Woody! What? He can't take Woody! It's illegal!
The sound effects and music are great, which is kinda strange to me as I'm more accustomed to movie tie-in games phoning it in on this aspect of games. Traveller's Tales, however, did not. All the tracks to the levels fit well with the theme, and most importantly, are composed well. The FMV scenes sound a bit compressed, but that's about all I can say bad about the sound quality. I give sound 3 bits.
To infinity and beyond!
Out of 4.
Stealing Woody! What? He can't take Woody! It's illegal!
Toy Story 2's graphics have not aged too well, but this was the early age, the pioneer era, if you will, of 3D gaming. And with that in mind, the world and characters look almost identical to their movie counterparts, minus the odd-shaped polygon or facial expressions Mr. Potato has, or even Woody has at the end of the game. The enemies are very generic. They are just your basic assortment of toys with no real standouts aside from the sub-bosses and bosses. The bosses match their levels fairly well, and only 2 of them are directly from the movie, that being Emperor Zurg and Stinky Pete. The plot follows closely to that of the movie. Woody has been toy-napped, and it's up to Buzz and the gang to travel from Andy's house all the way to the airport to save Woody. You visit every location that is in the film, plus a few extra areas to help fill the game out. As you progress through the game, you're treated to full-motion videos from the movie. This helps add to the narrative and lets the game follow along more closely to the movie, as the levels are more gameplay-based, with not a whole lot of story going on inside them. The ending is the same as the movie. You defeat Stinky Pete, save Woody, and head home to Andy's to celebrate with new friends Jessie and Bullseye. So with decent early 3D era graphics and a plot that stays loyal to the movie, I give presentation 2 bits.
To infinity and beyond!
Out of 4.
Stealing Woody! What? He can't take Woody! It's illegal!
Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue, I would say, is a decent game. It has some solid controls, but gameplay, while fun in some aspects, I don't feel challenges you enough. The levels are great. They visit every location in the movie and even expand upon those locations. And the story follows the plot of the movie fairly well. But all of this together in a package, I feel, doesn't launch this game quite out of the orbit of mediocrity. My final verdict for Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue is a recommended look, but not necessarily buy for the casual or hardcore collector of the PlayStation and Nintendo 64. I would only suggest buying it if you want to 100% your collection for that system, or you're a Toy Story fan. And to those people, I say you can buy it online for around $8 depending on the condition you're looking for, or better yet, on PSN for just $6. Well guys, that concludes the second entry in our trilogy of reviews. I hope you guys join me next week where we're taking a look at a game based on Toy Story 3. I'll see you there, and of course, as always folks, stay safe and play on!